there, and welcome back to Weird Soda for Life. Oh no, this can has got to go, 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 ChillZicle. Ah, ah, you get it. Anyway, welcome back. You heard it here first, and you probably heard it here last. Today we are trying Arizona's tropical ChillZicle. This is a limited time, like only. I hesitate to call it a soda. We haven't tried it yet. It's probably more of a drink cocktail, right? That's always the catchphrase for there's not actually enough fruit to make this a juice, so we're gonna call it a cocktail and hope for the best. Um, but before we get into it, it occurred to me as I was like gathering my information and doing my preparations for this episode. We actually haven't had an Arizona drink on the channel, and uh, they sort of surprised me. They're pretty unique and honestly pretty ubiquitous. Um, so I guess we'll talk a little bit about Arizona. So first things first, they're Arizona Beverage Company, which like nobody calls them that, so we're just gonna stick to Arizona. And they were founded in 1992 in Brooklyn, New York. I know I was surprised too. You would think if you're gonna be so bold as to name your company after a state in the Southwest that you wouldn't naturally start out in the Northeast. But what do I know about business? But yeah, so 1992, two folks, Don Vultaggio, I'm probably butchering these names, and John Ferolito, two besties in Brooklyn, named the beverage company Arizona because they wanted to capture the essence of Arizona and the spirit of adventure and all this other stuff. I don't personally know how that translates into Arizona and honoring, maybe not honoring the state, but honoring the spirit, unless Arizona has got giant cans just hanging out all over the desert. I've been to Phoenix a couple times. It's been several years. Maybe there's cans now. I don't know. Um, but what I will say is that starting straight out the gate, Arizona iced tea was the first thing they rolled out with, and like it's tall cans, right? It's distinctive. This is a 23-ounce can. Um, the low price, most of not all of Arizona's cans are 99 cents, and they've been that way since the beginning. It's sort of really cool that over 30 years later that they have kept prices down. It's an affordable, nice drink. And even when they started out with the Arizona iced tea, they had a lot of different flavors. They had like raspberry, and they had like green tea, and they had a lot of different options. So as somebody who's trying to be on a budget and is looking for something most bang for your buck, I guess you would say, how cool is that? And despite my snark, I actually am I wouldn't say a stan or anything for Arizona, but I love all their orangeades, their grapeades. They got this energy elixir that I'm a sucker for, and it does have green tea in it. And they also have this cherry lime Rickey that they came out with a while back, and I think it just got re-released again. And it, I suppose, and on the top it says a Brooklyn original, and so I guess the clues were there all along that perhaps the company was from Brooklyn. Um, but I like a lot of their stuff. I'm not a tea drinker by any means, so the teas are often lost on me, but kudos to them. And I think a really cool thing about their company is that over the years they really have pivoted to having like a bunch of zero sugar options or fewer sugar options. And you would think with such large cans, you're like, well, that's a lot of waste. But they really encourage um, like environmental packaging. They're making real efforts to lower their carbon imprint. Like it feels really weird to be like, hey, this company's doing its best and like, hey, they're gonna doing a good job of it, but like, kudos to you, Arizona. I really don't have a lot of negative things to say about the company. I mean, heck, even when they had like the mold incident in like 2013, and I will make a joke here that maybe they were trying to launch kombucha. That seems like how everything else started in the early 2010s. Um, yeah, they called it out immediately, recalled stuff. I think it's actually quite cool. But with that, what about Tropical ChillZicle? I keep saying the full name. It feels like I need to honor its full name. So turns out like this flavor is a fan created flavor to honor the 30 years that Arizona has been in business. I'm no mathematician, but 92 plus 30 is 2022. And maybe they released it in 2022 and I missed it, but I know they've released it now in 2024, and that's 32 years, y'all. Um, but let's be straight, the COVID years are like 30 years within itself. Like 2020 to 2023 was the roughest time. Um, so, you know what? You do the math that you need to, Arizona. I'm here for it. With that, let's take a look at the can. Um, I really love this. I love the what is it? The gradient fade here, right? So you can see this. It is like a sunset, and then you get the Arizona. I love this. I like you get the stars up here. It's really cool. You get bomb pop, so I'm kind of hoping it tastes like a bomb pop. You know me, I'm a sucker for those. Um, but like the I don't have a lot to say. I think this is a beautiful can design. Um, I really think it does pay an homage to like they have the bomb pops there. The description, which is not on the can, very much said a whole bunch about having like really channeling tropical vibes and hanging out with your friends and things like that. So we'll see how that goes. And then also, I want to note because this seeing the top reminded me like we see a lot of cans where it's got a beautiful design, but then the top is that standard silver. But this is nice and gold. It really accents well with the rest of the design. 10 out of 10, no notes. With that, let's see what we've gotten ourselves into. Okay. I will say currently it smells kind of just nondescript sweet, so I'm gonna pour it in a glass like we normally try to do, and let's see if it like gets any additional sort of flavoring out of it. Let's see. Oh, well, that's a pretty color if nothing else. Like it's kind of orangey. It kind of matches like the middle part of the can. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see the color kind of matches the orange part of the can. I'm cool with that. Um, that being said, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Baja Blast is the closest thing I'm coming to, but that's not quite what I mean. But it smells like a nondescript, like sort of sweet thing. Um, with that, let's try it out. So that's very good. I guess technically speaking, as we talked about before, it's not actually a soda; it's a drink cocktail. Um, it's quite good. I know I'm really trying to land on some things for you. Um, so it doesn't taste like a bomb pop. Let's start there. So for me, it doesn't taste like a bomb pop. It tastes like just your standard, I hate to say nondescript tropical drink. Not like a pina colada, but more like this is terrible. I'm coming up with like the V8 juices. Y'all remember those, like the berry V8? It really reminds me a lot of that. Very much a base of maybe like some cherries and your sort of basic, like maybe a little pineapple, um, maybe a little mango. Um, so more like a fruit cocktail. That's it. That's what it reminds me of. Sorry, you guys had to watch me like stick the landing there. It reminds me of a fruit cocktail. Is if a fruit cocktail was just liquid. Um, I'm here for it. I like it a whole bunch. I will say if I had to compare my love of the can to the love of the soda or I guess drink, I think the can wins, but that's not a dig against the drink. It's more of the hype of the really cool can design. Um, if you're interested in trying this, it is a juice. So like if you're looking for a soda this week, this isn't the one. But if you're looking for like a nice little fun juice, these are actually at 7-Eleven. Currently, it seems that that's where Arizona sticks a lot of their stuff. Like the Cherry Lime Rickey that I talked about earlier is at 7-Eleven. They just announced it. But it's quite good. The problem is sometimes with drinks that are just good but not great, you don't have a whole lot to riff off of. And this kind of suffers from that. But if the worst thing I could say about it is that it's good, and I would maybe drink it with cut it with ice, perhaps. Um, I don't think that's a bad way to go. Um, so yeah, go get it, but don't expect it to taste like a bomb pop. Expect it to taste like a fruit cocktail. um, Next week, we are pivoting back to the world of Monster, and we actually are drinking a Monster Energy drink this week. I found a new flavor. It's called Ultra Fantasy Ruby Red. So we're gonna see if it keeps me awake because it has tons of caffeine, or if it keeps me awake because it tastes terrible. Until next time, drink weird and I don't know, go buy yourself a 6 pack of Arizona drinks. It'll only cost you less than $6. Well, plus sales tax. See you next time.